Alrighty, so today we are going to put the Radeon Pro Vega 48 in the new 2019 27-inch iMac through its paces. Okay, so behind me is the top spec 2019 iMac. It has the Core i9-9900K and the Radeon Pro Vega 48 graphics. So this video is mainly going to be a test of the Radeon Pro Vega 48 graphics. And while there's going to be a few things that test the Core i9 a little bit, the results should mainly be the same whether you go for the Core i9 or you stick with the Core i5 on this top spec 27-inch iMac. Disclaimer! I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you want to do gaming, right? If you're like a gamer girl or a gamer boy, and you're like, I'm gonna buy a gaming computer, don't buy this. It's not for gaming. I feel like we should all know this by now, but I know that there's still going to be the comments going, "Oh, well, why would you buy an iMac if you want a game?" The primary function for this device, obviously, is not gaming. However, there's nothing stopping you from gaming on it in your spare time, so we're going to find out how it does. Okie dokie, so we'll start out by running the Time Spy benchmark from 3D Mark. It's not quite a game, but should give you a score that makes sense when you compare it to other machines. So while this is running, my initial thoughts on this device in terms of gaming are, I think it's been very, very competent. Obviously, this is a 5K screen. The Radeon Pro Vega 48 is not designed for gaming at 5K, but I found that 1440p is a pretty good sweet spot. I would put it somewhere right around a GTX 1060. A little bit better than a 1060 is what I would personally guess. Obviously, it's a little hard to make those comparisons because different tasks and different games and different performance and cooling. There's a whole range of factors, but from my experience at 1440p, you can expect GTX 1060 performance out of this card, which is not bad. It's obviously more expensive than a GTX 1060. This entire iMac is going to be more expensive than a comparable gaming rig, but for the performance that it gives you for a computer that's not really designed for gaming, I'd say it's pretty decent. Okie dokie, so we got a score of 5,130. If we scroll down here, the CPU score is going to outpace the graphics score because this is a workstation-oriented computer. The CPU is going to be a priority over the GPU, especially when you opt for that Core i9. So that's not unexpected. Alright, so the next game that we're going to fire up is Far Cry 5. However, there is one thing that I've noticed with some applications, especially games, is that they don't really handle scaling very well. I've noticed this with Battlefield on my old iMac. I don't have that on here. And with Far Cry 5, if you set the resolution to 5K, it basically launches in a little quarter window like this because it doesn't do scaling very well. So you got to set your resolution to the desired full screen resolution. So I set it to 1440p because I'm going to be running it at 1440p. Okie dokie, so I've been in Far Cry 5 for about 10 minutes now, and it's running really well. We've got it set to 1440p on medium settings, and we're running pretty much around 60 FPS. There's a few little drops down to somewhere in the mid to low 50s, but for the most part, I would consider this to be very playable. It's certainly a huge improvement over my old iMac, the late 2015, which could only really run this game at 1080p on the lowest graphics settings if I wanted to get anywhere near 60 FPS. This is a recent title, it's a fairly demanding game, and it's running quite well on here. You can also hear the fan noise if I'm a little more quiet. It's not terrible, obviously it's audible. We're running a AAA title at 1440p, but the fan noise isn't that bad. If I had the sound on or if I had headphones in, I would say that it would be pretty much unnoticeable. Okie dokie, so next up is Grand Theft Auto 5. Everyone loves this game. It's been out for about 6 years, so it's an older title, but that pretty much just means that it's a little bit easier to run on modern hardware. I find that this game runs pretty well even on lower end stuff, but it can also be turned up to look pretty nice. So I've been in game for about 20 minutes now. It spawned in at night and I wanted to wait until morning so you guys could see a little bit better. and it's running pretty well. It's been staying at 60 FPS pretty much consistently, and as you might also be able to hear, the fans are not particularly loud. You can hear them, they're audible, just like with Far Cry 5, but they're still pretty quiet. So I have this game set to 1440p at mostly high with a few medium settings. It's probably like 80-20 high medium, and it's running really well. You could probably turn the settings up a little bit, but I just want to give it some room to breathe so that we're hitting that 60 all the time. Let's go fly down closer to the ground and over the city. That's how you kind of get this game to lag a little bit, is if you're moving quickly over the ground. So far so good, still 60, still sitting pretty at 60. Yeah, it's doing really well. I'm impressed. Running very stably, and it doesn't sound like it's taxing the system too much, otherwise it would be a lot louder. So overall, I'd say that's a pass. Okie dokie, so next up is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now, I actually did run the benchmark for this game in 5K just to see what would happen, and as you would expect, it looked quite good. Not gonna lie, it looked really stunning, but it averaged about 18 frames per second, which really is not ideal. So here I have it set to medium settings at 1440p, and it's not quite hitting 60. This is a pretty graphically demanding game. We're probably running around the mid-50s on average. It drops to the 40s every once in a while. It's really not terrible. I would consider this game to be playable at this frame rate. There we go, we hit about 42 is the lowest that I've seen for a frame rate. It's really not bad, honestly. I would consider this playable, especially if you have motion blur turned on. Alright, so next up is a lesser-known title. It's called Space Engineers. You may have heard of it. It's a couple years old. It's a smaller title. It's basically Minecraft for space. It's a really fun game. It's really cool to play around in, and it's also very interesting as far as these benchmarks are concerned, because on the one hand, graphically, this game is very light. You can see I've had absolutely no trouble sticking it at 60 FPS in 1440p. In fact, I can almost run this game on high settings in 5K. It's really close. It gets like 30 to 40 FPS, which is okay for some people, but I really like 60, so I drop it down to 1440p just so I can keep it stable. So this is a ship that I've been working on, and the reason that I want to test this out is because once you start getting into these large ships, which are, by the way, fully destructible, all of these blocks are destructible and independent. Once you get these larger type ships like this one that I've been working on, they can be pretty taxing on the CPU. So this ship, if you really crash it at high speeds, has been pretty demanding, and it would cause a significant amount of lag on my old iMac with a Core i7-6700K and on my gaming PC with a Core i7-7700. But this Core i9 should do pretty well, so I'm basically just going to drop the ship, and we'll see how it does. Oh man, yeah, it destroyed the ship. So you could see there was like a little initial frame drop as it was struggling to keep up with the simulation, and in pretty short order it sorted it out and rendered all of the destruction in pretty much real time. So apart from that one little judder, it did pretty well. Alright, so finally today is Minecraft. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is definitely not a test of graphics. This is not going to be a demanding game on anything. You can run Minecraft on integrated graphics pretty easily. But I just wanted to highlight how fun Minecraft is on this giant 27-inch 5K display, because you can run at 60 FPS in 5K, and it does look really, really good on the highest graphics settings. You may also have noticed that I'm in a village here. This is a mod called Millionaire. I'm in a mod pack that I created, and the reason that I'm showing you this mod pack is because Millionaire, which is basically a sort of medieval village upgrade system, and it has this, it's a really cool mod. Go look it up. I won't spend too much time explaining it here. But this mod, once it starts to increase, once you start getting a larger population of villagers, building buildings, trading between villages, it can start to slow down slower CPUs and quad-core CPUs. That is not the case on this Core i9. Okay, so final thoughts on the Vega 48 after this gaming test today. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but this is not a gaming PC. I know that there are going to be a lot of people that are mad at me for not building a gaming PC for $6 that's going to outperform this, because I've heard it all before. I frankly don't care. You're not buying this to game, but if you do buy an iMac, you can game on it. There's a difference. Obviously, this is not going to be your hardcore gaming rig, but I think for casual gaming, if you've got some free time, this thing is more than capable enough to handle whatever you want to throw at it. AAA titles, light games, it all works fine, and it looks really nice on this gorgeous display, even if you're not running at the full 5K resolution. So that'll do it for today's video. As usual, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter if you get the chance. Leave any questions down below. I'll try my best to answer them, and I'll see you guys in the next video.